So finally, the D day has arrived, and I am going to give my Lal Singh Chaddha review. Um, Already, a lot of people are talking about it. It's in its third day. It's not doing too well. So I thought, let me just give my point of view and say how it is. It's I just watched the movie and I liked it. I really liked the movie. Even though I was Forrest Gump is one of my favorite movies, and I really felt maybe they've not been able to do a good job adapting Gump to Lal Singh Chaddha. But still, this movie works. At least it worked for me. Okay. Now, firstly, let me just talk about a few key points. When a person goes ahead and reviews a movie, he can do it in two ways. Okay, he can either kind of critically review the movie, and in order to critically review a movie when you're watching a movie is to watch the movie and at the same time probably create a persona about yourself, and you start watching the movie from afar, like it's like you're watching the movie and at the same time you're an observer also. So when that happens, you tend to miss out on the experience of that movie. Okay, like you're watching the movie but at the same time you're saying that scene in Forrest Gump it was like this, and here it is like this. This dialogue is like this. What is Amir doing? Like basic generic things you can probably analyze, but critically analyzing it, the moment you start reviewing a movie as a critic, you automatically lose your audience. Lose yourself as an audience. So when I went and watched this movie, I thought that let me just surrender myself to this movie. Let me just watch it. Okay, let's not think about anything else. Um, they spent a lot of time, effort, and money to make this movie. Maybe it's not good. The least they deserve is a chance. Let me watch it, and if at the end of the movie I feel something, I think they have done their job. And that is exactly what Lal Singh Chaddha has done. At least for me, it has worked for me. I'm sorry, I don't know. A lot of other people, it hasn't worked for them. Maybe they started critically analyzing the movie the moment they entered the hall. But please, it's better than Bhool Bhulaiya 2. Okay, people watch that movie, and it was, sorry to use that term, it was complete trash. I'll have a segment explaining why Bhool Bhulaiya 2 became such a big hit. Lal Singh Chaddha is definitely a better movie than Bhool Bhulaiya 2. Okay, so if you can go ahead and watch a movie like that and come out of the hall, why don't you go ahead and watch a movie like Lal Singh Chaddha, surrender to what it's trying to say, and then come out of it, and then of course you have every right to say whatever you feel like. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and concentrate on some of the good things about this movie, which really worked, which I felt worked. Okay, first was the childhood of Lal Singh Chaddha. The boy is very cute who has played Lal Singh Chaddha. Okay, and he has given a heart touching performance. In fact, the beginning, Lal Singh Chaddha's childhood with Mona Singh, and how he grows up, okay, and it recreates some of the iconic scenes of Forrest Gump, are some of the best moments of this movie. So the start is pretty good for Lal Singh Chaddha. When the movie starts, it's very good. Then what happens is, um, it maintains the momentum, but Amir Khan has made a mistake. Instead of studying Tom Hanks' character a little more, his nuances a little more, he has tried to insert his PK image into Lal Singh Chaddha. And that is where people have really kind of, they have not accepted him at all. So that is where the movie takes a bump and it goes down a little bit. But because of the events and things which are happening in the movie, it still stays afloat. And still, I'll tell you, first half people have enjoyed it. They were cheering, they were clapping, they were really enjoying the movie. Along with that, I have already said the X factor, and that is Kareena Kapoor Khan. She is mind blowing. I'll have to say her expressions and her relationship with Lal Singh Chaddha, which is basically the anchor point of this movie. It's 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 one of the best performances of Kareena Kapoor Khan. What she has given, and she's very convincing. And I think that is one of the reasons why this movie, it kind of keeps on moving. You know, it is not something when you're watching it you will say, okay, yaar, what am I watching? You don't feel like walking out of the hall. Okay. Along with that, they have juxtaposed key events which are happening here in India, historical incidents. The Lal Singh Chaddha is punctuated with these historical incidents, which is a fabric of Indian society. So, and what he's talking about, and he really didn't go ahead and do too much about it, because Amir Khan knows that the moment he goes ahead and takes a stand for an issue, it is going to be interpreted as something. So they take a very safe path, but at the same time, it is juxtaposed with Lal Singh Chaddha's progression of his character, and it makes for interesting viewing. Okay, there is one more aspect to it, and that is one of the dreaded people right now in Bollywood. There is one man whom we hate absolutely. There is a villain whom we hate. Okay, he has portrayed the villain in the Kashmir Files. So he's a person, he's a human being. If I'll tell you something, if on the streets he's walking and uh, anybody gets to see him, he'll probably abuse him. You know, and he has even played, I think, the villain in Samrat Prithviraj also. Now he's got a very important role in this movie. Okay, I'm giving a minor spoiler alert. It's like in Lal Singh Chaddha, why in the Kargil war, Lal Singh goes back to the front line and rescues a few of his military colleagues. Along with that, he also saves the life of this terrorist, which is being played by this person I'm talking about. Okay, and their relationship, how it grows in this movie. That's also quite an interesting take about the whole thing. He's a terrorist. He has a certain value system, and how Lal Singh, with his simplicity and his approach towards life, reforms him. He does not give him any sermons. He does not sermonize or anything. He's just the normal simpleton he is. But how it influences this man to change his outlook towards life is also a very, very interesting part of this movie. Okay, but main thing is, yes, you take a classic like Forrest Gump and you try to integrate into an Indian context, and you have to bring in these new things. That is what I was looking for, and I think they've tried. I'm not saying it is amazing, it is awesome, it is something out of the world. No, I'm not saying that, but they have tried. They have given an effort. It may not have worked, but they have tried, and that effort shows. So even that part of the movie, I liked it. It was done in a very subtle way, and I enjoyed that part. Now there is a big problem, and a lot of people have a lot of issues with the length of the movie. Now this is adapted from Forrest Gump. Okay, there is quite a few scenes in Forrest Gump, and which are completely identical to Lal Singh Chaddha. Okay, now The length of a movie, definitely it gets increased because of the songs. In Bollywood we have songs, we've got 4 or 5 or 6 songs, and all the songs are really good in Lal Singh Chaddha. Each and every song, after a long time when I was listening to these songs, I was enjoying the feel. They are very nice songs, very well written and very well composed. It automatically increases the length of the movie. Secondly, Robin Wright's character in Forrest Gump was not given too much of importance. Here, Kareena Kapoor's character has given a lot of importance, and they have given her a lot of space to develop her character, and she has done a good job. So that also automatically contributes to this movie becoming so long. Okay, so when it happens, the final 30 or 40 minutes, trust me, it doesn't work because a lot of people are shifting uncomfortably. They are trying to say, "What's happening, man? We need now." It's beyond the point. Now it needs to stop. Okay, so that is a lot of people have a grouse with the length of the movie. They're saying that it could have been 30 to 40 minutes short. In an Indian context, when you're making an epic movie like Lal Singh Chaddha, which is completely adapted for Forrest Gump, you take it for granted that these things will happen. And these kinds of movies now don't work, and people don't like it. Okay, I'm talking about a general perception. Epic movies don't work nowadays. Nobody goes there and watches for 3 hours like, yeah, we'll watch the movie and we'll come out. So the attention span of audience have gone down. So the last 30 to 40 minutes is a laborious walk. But it's just like Lal Singh Chaddha's life also. In the final few frames, which is of course, it is completely identical to Forrest Gump again. It is your life. The last few laps, it will always be a little labored and it's a little tough, and uh, it, you have to be patient, right? All I can say is that at the end of the movie, the payoff is great. I'll tell you why I'm talking so nicely and I'm talking such great. I'm talking about positive things about the movie here because everybody is talking negative things about the movie, right? Everybody knows the negative part, the things about the movie. Everybody can talk about it, troll about it, accept it. But at the end, this movie made me cry. And if this movie made me cry, then I felt something. I have to be honest to myself. Now, you only will troll me that it was such a horrible movie, that's why you cried. No, it was not because of that. It made me cry because honestly, this movie moved me. Even Forrest Gump did, even this movie did. It did choke me up. And this year, I can say there are three movies which have made this happened, and that is Charlie 777 and Vashi. I'm not saying they made me cry. Charlie did, but Vashi and this movie. These movies have really moved me. Lal Singh Chaddha, Lal Singh Chaddha, Charlie 777, and Vashi. Thought provoking. It has made me introspect. It has made me feel. It has made me think about what's happening around me, and it is actually a commentary of our times. As Lal Singh Chaddha goes through with his life, and all these major incidents are happening, and he's not exactly doing anything, right? We are also not doing anything here. Honestly speaking, we are all like zombies. We are not doing anything. Yeah, will we take a stand against all these big issues which are happening? No, we won't. We can't. The moment we do, somebody will troll us, or some whole public will come after me only, or somebody like that. I may not be important, but even if I say, and if somebody hears me, or what are you talking about here? This is what I think. The general atmosphere is like that. You want to talk, but you don't want to talk. Lal Singh is exactly like that. He's like a zombie. He's going through with life like that. But the immediate people who are there, who are connected with his life, like like Kareena Kapoor, like Rupa, or this this friend of his this buddy. He's a terrorist, but how they become good friends. With very small things, he makes us realize that in our small spheres of life, if we do something good, if we are good, if we are like noble with our thoughts, and we do one good thing within our like what can I say, within ourselves, like whatever small world we operate in, if we can do some good and good things, I think good will come back to us, and that will affect us on a larger canvas. And that is exactly why I felt I liked this movie. And I thought, yes, I was thinking, why is Forrest Gump so topical now? But it is. Any and every person who goes ahead and watches this movie and feels something, thinks something, becomes a better human being out of it. If he feels that no, this is something I can do, I think this movie has done its job. So I think Amir Khan should not think about how much money it generates, whether it's a big flop or not. I think it is a movie for the times, a Forrest Gump adaptation, which is there. It has not. I listen. If you're asking me as a critic to tell you, as a movie, if you see Forrest Gump and you this is this a great adaptation? No, I will not say that. I won't say that. No, it has not. It technically speaking, even the dialogues. I think Atul could have worked a little more on the dialogues. At the end, there's a scene where Lal Singh Chaddha and is the he says in Forrest Gump, there's a very key scene because when the child is walking away at the end, for those who have seen Forrest Gump, before getting up on the bus, he says, "Thank you, Daddy." He says that it's a big scene, big moment. Here in Lal Singh Chaddha, he utters Pitaji or Daddy before that. So the impact point gets lost. Just talking about a small technical aspect of the dialogue writing or the screenplay or something like that. That is why the effect or the impact is not that big. But what I liked about the movie was the effort. They tried something. Okay, this is not a flash in the pan, or they just put in some, like, they're making some poached eggs or something. They gave that effort. It may not have worked, but it it is not as bad as people are perceiving it. So I would recommend, definitely, um, give it a shot. Give it a shot. I would say, if need be, just one time watch maybe. And one more good thing about this movie is it's a complete family watch. If you go to a hall with your kid or anybody, you don't have to go ahead and cover their eyes. You don't get movies like these nowadays that you can go ahead with your family and watch it. There will always be some scene which you want to censor, or some scene you don't want to show your kid, or you have to. But here you can at least rest. Maybe he might get bored. He or she might, the kid might get bored by seeing such a long movie. But maybe he might enjoy it. But you don't have to cover his or her eyes. It's a complete family movie. So thank you everyone. I would recommend, watch the movie, share your thoughts, and maybe not right now, but in a few years' time, people will understand and acknowledge. Um, I won't say maybe the greatness of this movie, but at least the little good it has. Hate Amir Khan, hate Karina Kapoor, hate everybody, boycott everything. They are very bad, horrible people. But don't hate a movie which is trying to maybe propagate a good message. Okay? Bye everyone. Take care. Mr. Sobjani. Adios.